Oh, let's talk about the Beast games, actually.
Oh, Beast games.
Because you briefly mentioned this on Waffling, and I was like, we got to address this in Fellas.
Yeah.
It's getting a lot of hate, Beast games, but I am, for one, enjoying it. It's TV, and I'm enjoying it.
You think it's TV, do you?
Well,
what makes you think it's
not TV? Sorry, that's probably the wrong way to describe it, but it's one of the, to me, it is because it's a reality show.
Yeah.
And I find all them crap, mind-numbing things. So when I'm watching it, I know my mind is numb.
You know what it is?
Even though it is most of the time.
It's a TV show that you can watch whilst doing something else and you'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So if you've got an admin,
you can watch it
like a load of admin to do, whack that on. You can have that on.
It's good though. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the storylines. I'm enjoying the drama a little bit. I think it's well put together and it's living up to what I've had expectations.
So I'm up to episode 3. I haven't watched episode 4. I don't mind. You can spoil episode 4 for me.
Episode 4 wasn't really much.
Episode 4, what happens in episode 4? Oh, it's everyone going to the island.
Final island part. And then when they get to the island, spoiler alert coming in, by the way, they get a choice whether they want to play for the island or continue on to another island to win the jackpot, 5 mil.
Yeah, but the person so people that stay on the current island they've gone to, it's worth like 2 mil or whatever it was.
1.9, yeah.
1.9. So the person that wins the island, they're still in the games and then they go on and carry on.
So they could walk away with 6.9 million.
Yeah, they can walk away with even more.
Oh, right.
So it's, but if you want another spoiler alert, the amount of people that stayed, so I think, how many people in total were left?
Oh, I can't remember.
On the island, 9 people have agreed to stay and fight for the island. 9.
Wow.
There was maybe 50, 60 left?
Yeah, because I think he said to the others, if you go to the other island, you'll be in the top 50. So I guess around 50.
Oh, so it's just like you just skip it.
So one person will win this island out of that 9 and then go and join the others.
Oh, okay, wow.
It's heating up. And now the next episode is going to be fucking class because they end the episode by going, right, all 9 of you, you've got this island, you need to go and hide now. And then a helicopter starts coming in and it's just full of fucking Navy SEALs hanging off the side of it. And they're all backflip out the water. American. And they're like, now you need to hide because you're playing hide and seek against Navy SEAls. And then it ends. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah.
God bless America. They're coming in with these Apaches.
Yeah, it's fucking sick. I gotta give it to them. I was gonna send it. Episode 5 will be out on Thursday. I'm gonna be locked in.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'll be honest with you. I thought the first 2 episodes, I was there like, this is a bit poo. Yeah. And the reason why was just because, and I kind of get it now, they had to whittle it down. I think they maybe started with too many people, but they spent 2 whole episodes just whittling down people, and it was a lot of just the same moral dilemma, which was the obvious thing about, oh, take this money or have a chance at the 5 mil. Take this money or have a chance at 5 mil. And it's just like that I can only do in so many different variations.
Yeah. It's getting a lot better now, though, as it's been whittled down. So I kind of get the beginning.
I thought episode 3 was the first time where I was there like, okay, 1, now I'm starting to get storylines in.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel like a connection to a lot of these guys. I also thought the end of, I believe, was it episode 2 where they reject the
that was crazy, wasn't it?
We need to discuss that.
That's when it started getting really good because that was like a bit of a mind.
So the people that we're going to do spoilers here on episode 2 is if you don't want to watch and you don't care about it, then you can just listen to this, no problem. Episode 2, there's a bit where they're sort of split up into 4 different teams. That they'd been in this team for the previous games that they'd done, and they all had to go and select a leader. Now they were told you want this leader to be extremely trustworthy because what's going to happen is there's going to be a monetary a number which represents money on the screen that's going to exponentially get higher and higher and higher. And if your leader decides to take the money, then your entire team is eliminated. The leader gets the money, but not only that, the leader gets to stay in the games as well.
So for that leader, and there's only 4 of them, and on each team there was plenty of people.
It's a quarter of the game.
You say? What was there, like 50 people in each
per
team?
Yeah, at least that, or something around that number anyway. So the teams were lined up, and it was a big fat lines, and they were all at the bottom, and these 4 leaders were at the top of this 5-story building. And the money is on that screen behind it. It's going up, starts maybe $100, it's going up $1,000, and everyone's cheering. And then it starts getting up into like 100,000, and no one's touching it. And what does it go to? All the way in the end, it goes to $1 million.
$1 million.
And not a single one of them has pressed it. Which is crazy because that is a quarter of what's up for grabs anyway, right? What's up for grabs? 4 mil? 5 mil?
5 mil is at the grand prize.
So you've just guaranteed it. You're still not out of the game anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, you have eliminated all those
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because It all depends. I think it matters a lot about what the money's going to do for you. I mean, $1 million is going to do a lot to pretty much 99.99% of people in the world. There's one guy up there that claims that he's homeless. It was a little bit misleading because I actually saw a TikTok of this guy recently, the guy that claims that he's homeless. He lives in a van or a car, but don't get it twisted, mate. This thing is like a huge, like it's a big old thing.
Oh, so
he's not exactly. He is correct in the sense that he's homeless. He doesn't have a house,
but it's a motorhome.
But it's pretty much a motorhome, yeah. And he is one of the guys that doesn't take the $1 million. And to be fair to him, none of them do. And would I have taken the $1 million?
Oh, it's a
really tough one because you don't
100% taken the $1 million.
Right. And that's fine. And I think most people, had you taken that $1 million, would have gone, I get it. It's $1 million.
I think they played it right.
It's also just more so the fact, first of all, I don't think you would have ever been in a position to be elected as that person because you really have to convince people.
That's what I was about to say. I think the teams played it right as groups because they, the people up there, well, obviously they didn't take the $1 million. And that was the whole debate. It was like, we need someone up there, right? Oh, did they know? Did they know that that's what it was going to be, actually?
No, they didn't.
No, so they just got lucky then, really.
You know what? The thing for me that doesn't sit right about not taking it is you're essentially choosing between your family and changing their life and then a load of people that you don't know. And you should have loyalty to your family and friends, in my opinion.
Yeah, the family's probably back at home when that hits $1 million, probably thinking, oh, just fucking press that button.
Yeah, and that's what I mean in terms of if that money's going to make a massive difference to you. But at the same time, there's 49 other people in your team where they would like a shot. And you got to remember, those 49 other people have also all said no to like $100,000 or whatever it was previous in the thing. So it's like there is that element there too.
Yeah, I know.
It's just keeping your word, really.
It's a really difficult thing, but that's why the
men and women of the word, and they did keep it, which is
the only
impressive.
argument I get, and obviously another spoiler as well, the leaders then goes out in the next game.
Yeah, so that was cuckery.
Yeah,
that was cuckery.
But
because
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so what this guy did, it was the guy that said he was at homeless in a van. He then gets offered when he's in that box to say, they're like, oh mate, would you like immunity from this? Because obviously you kept loads of people in and you said no to $1 million. He goes, nah man, it's good, like I'm here to play. And look, a lot of people would go, oh, that's so noble of you. I think at that point that's just being stupid. At least reap some benefit from that. And a lot of people will still say, nah man, but he's a man of his word, like all this. It's like, nah man, you've just done something that 99.999% of people would not do. At least get some sort of benefit. And all that benefit is just you progressing into the next round. You still get likely to go home with nothing. And anyways, he loses the game and he's out. And I'm just there like, bro.
Now at that point, I did
come on, man. That's financially irresponsible.
But it's also as well, like his reasoning was like, he liked who he was as a person in that moment. He likes who he is now, or some bullshit like that. I get the that part, but the paying it forward element, I agree with. Is like, be a good person and it will reap you later down the line. But in this situation, he just did the wrong fucking thing. That was a simple fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, the series has got a lot better. Was definitely disappointed with episode 1. And I said that to the boys in the chat. I said, I'm not impressed with this at all. Episode 2, towards the end, I was like, wow, okay, we're locking in now. Episode 3, good. Storylines started firing. Big fan of that. Episode 4, like you boys have said, it was an okay ep, but we're looking for it to find. There's
beef in episode 4, to be fair, because he was one of the 4 leaders, wasn't he, Prod?
Yeah, he was.
He is the Jeremy guy?
Yes.
Was he one said no to $1 million?
Yes. Mate, honestly, I was screaming at my TV. I've never been so angry by an individual on a TV show. He's the biggest prick I've ever seen in my life.
This guy is a
the guy, one of the
religious geezer.
Yeah,
one of the leaders.
He's super religious, and essentially, there's a game in this where everyone gets given a coin. All right, 110 people get given one coin, and they have to give one person has to collect 100 coins. At least 100 out of the 110, and everyone starts agreeing to give it to
the religious
guys. Is this right, Prod? Am I on the right?
Just back yourself, bro.
Yeah, sorry, just my brain, forget sometimes. So they give it to religious Don. He ends up getting it. A lot of people are angry about it, keep calling him a weirdo and a creep, and they don't want to give him the coin. But in the end, he gets the coins, which means in that specific game, no extra people were eliminated. Then what is it? He gets to go.
So with the coins, him getting the coins and everyone putting faith in him gives him the choice to bring 5 people onto the helicopter.
Yeah, which takes you to the island. Takes you to the island.
You've seen this.
Yes, I've seen this. Yeah.
And he essentially, they were like, you've got to bring some women because at this point, 3 loads of helicopters have been to the island and not taken a single woman. So everyone is like fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And he then said,
Twitter was going to light these motherfuckers on fire.
I will do what God tells me to do. So he's immediately just waffling, yeah? He's being a complete charlatan, this bloke.
Yeah,
and he then chooses his friends, then goes, shock, he's doing this. But in the game before, there was a woman who was trying to put everyone off by shouting the numbers. Did you see this?
Yeah.
And so they had to hold a ball for 10 minutes. And the only way to know if you're holding for 10 minutes is by manually counting. This woman fucking throws her ball down and just starts shouting random numbers to put everyone off.
I rate that so much.
And so she kicks off at this Jeremy geezer saying, oh, you need to take a woman, please. Just promise us you'll take a woman. And then when it comes to it, he's got 1 slot left, hasn't chosen a single woman. He goes up to her and goes, I like your tenacity. You can have a spot on the plane. And then everyone kicks off because this woman's fucking ruined the previous game. So he's taken 4 of his boys and this prick
and the worst woman possible.
Mate, it's crazy. Like when people are asking him, are you going to take a woman? He's like, there'll definitely be a woman on that helicopter. And he's like, I'm going to pray to God and God will help me and guide me through this. And as it comes down to it, he gets on the floor, starts praying, gets up, and then he just picks all of his boys.
No way. Oh, one of them ones.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Like an anime character about Unleashed's final.
So he picked 2 of his boys, and then he goes, you guys pick the others. For real, that's what he did. He 5 people get picked. So he picked 2 of his boys, said, you pick a person each, and then he picked the main girl that kept asking him to put one.
I'm excited to see how the series ends. I think it will go down well. I'd love to know the numbers from Amazon and how successful this has been, because obviously it's got a pretty wedge budget.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if...
how much of it do you reckon is MrBeast funded?
Not zero.
They gave him unlimited money to do what he wanted.
They gave him 100 mil. That was the thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, $100 million. Yeah, so he wouldn't put... I don't think he would put any of his own money in there. I don't know why he would.
You know what's interesting, though? Do you not think like how much that first Squid Games has opened up in terms of content form?
Yeah, because it's essentially the Squid Game thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
everything has. If you look at these big challenges now, these big game shows all kind of come from that Squid Game angle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was pretty crazy.
Mental.
Yeah. His Squid Game video was good, to be fair, as well. I enjoyed that. And I guess this is just a absolute, behemoth version of that.
Have you heard about the Squid Games in real life?
No, but I saw this on a doc and I have not heard a thing about it.
Have you not?
So this is really interesting.
I must have missed this.
Recently, there's been it's flooded with pictures and news stories about how the original Squid Games series was actually based off of a real life Squid Games. And there was all these photos flying around and really interesting bits of information and everything. But unfortunately, it's all been proven to be a hoax because the photos are like AI, or a lot of the photos were AI generated. But it gets even darker than that because there was a concentration camp many years ago in Korea where the actual photos were from, and
called Brothers Home.
Yeah, it was a concentration camp. And what they would do is they would take people from society that were, they said nobody's going to miss these guys type of thing. Homeless societal people. Rejects, if you will. And they would put them into these concentration camps.
Yeah.
Or labor camps, maybe is the better way to describe it. It was back in 1970s, 1980s time. And there were 20 factories there, housed thousands of people. Like I said, homeless people, these rejects, but also children as well. And it was just a really, really bad sort of thing going on here. But what people recently have been doing is trying to claim that this is actually what the real Squid Games was based off of, but that's just not the case. The real Squid Games was based off of something completely different. And even I believe it was the director or the creator of the Squid Game series came out and said it was actually all to do with violent strikes from violent labor strikes way back in 2009. So it had nothing to do with this.
But it's just crazy, like how people just see one TikTok slideshow and think that can't be AI generated, or they wouldn't even think about that and just assume it's real.
Yeah, and that is such a big problem, especially with how good it all is now. Have you guys seen recently that there's been an Instagram? People are saying like Instagram's dying, is going to be dead really soon because people are posting these hyper realistic photos of like one girl and how it just looks like she's living a normal life. There's one of her like sat at a coffee table, one of her like on the beach, and all these crazy, and it all looks so realistic. And people are saying that, well, look, you could essentially create somebody out of nothing using an Instagram page. Nobody is going to be able to identify what's real anymore. But
there's nothing relatable about that though. They can't.
No, but they can make it relatable. But they can make
How?
it because they can post all these photos in relatable scenarios. It's getting that real.
Fuck.
So it's like, oh well, Instagram is what now? But eventually, it's not going to be just pictures. It will then eventually be videos, and then we'll have just this huge issue around like creating content. And they already have it. Like, there's already massive AI personalities on Instagram, and even like AI OnlyFans. That's on there too. Oh, you know?
I mean, I've heard.
Yeah?
I've heard of them.
You've heard of them.
Oh, that's such a great money making.
Great. I heard it through the Vine.
Which Vine?
That.
The fucking Vine.
Oh, right. Yeah.
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 That's the saying. I heard it through the Vine.
Olive Vine.
No.
OnlyFans Vine.
The Vine of grapes.
Ah, the grape.
You know that one.
Yeah. That's my favorite.